Hey guys, if you love QF's content on our free Sundays and Thursday sessions, then please visit our Patreon page in the description and sub to the Black Kluge tier or higher for full access to not only our bonus weekly Tuesday night shows and the alternate Sunday shows you've been missing, but also to the exclusive episodes not available to the lower tiers. It's roughly the price of one coffee a month, and nobody at Starbucks will make you laugh like we do for that kind of scratch. In addition, when you sub to the Black Kluge tier, you'll get 2 weeks advance access to each Thursday session on Patreon before it makes it to YouTube.
Are you ever driven in your career? Not anymore, probably, but like in the beginning when you start getting real success and you go, fuck you, Bluebird. You know, I hope the people who work there see me now. Does that kind of drive it like a little bit? Like you need someone who pissed on you early on? You have the best revenge for all the people that called you cunt.
For all those cunts.
Yeah, for all those cunts. They go now, hey, that Emily Blunt, like they know it's you.
Oh, no, it's Blunt now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Blunt now.
Can you imagine
Blunt to you.
if you became the cunt like The Rock, and then it would be like, hi, Steven Spielberg calling for the cunt. It would be really good.
We should pitch this to Disney for the poster. They will love it. It's right.
What I'm saying is, like, I find that the greatest thing about fame. Like, it must have been such a charge. Like, did you date that girl for a while, and then all of a sudden, like, she's probably so aware of your career, and like, I dated that guy, and she's probably like, oh, fuck, I wish I could have married him or something, you know what I mean? When you got on Saturday Night Live, you start to get famous, and, you know, you start hearing from these fucks who were picking on you. And what is that? Do you just want to say to them, why don't you just go take a flying fuck for yourself? Because I needed you guys back when I was heavy and I wasn't the man, so to speak. Yeah. You know, what is that like for you? Did you have the satisfaction of, you know, grabbing one of these guys and going, fuck off? Speaking of Val Kilmer, so he helped you to prepare for your role in Mask, right?
Yes.
He was useful in that respect.
Right.
When you started to get into movies, that was the most mind-blowing thing of all. I would think that was the best fuck you to everyone who said you never would be an actress. Because your solo career is going so well now, are you now able to like yell at the girls in Black Panther and like, kind of say to them like, you know, screw off if they like make a stupid idea or suggestion? Are you now?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I mean, you're more famous than the rest of them, aren't you? In a sense, you're more successful.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, you are. You really are. You've done it. You completely outshine them, which is fantastic.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's the best feeling in the world. That's the best feeling in the world. When I went to #1 in radio and I was better than everyone else, it was the best.
Stop it, no.
Did you ever say to your agent, my God, this is what I've been dreaming of? I can shut the other girls up?
No.
Do you think they're jealous of your success, Rosé?
Not at all.
Seriously?
I think, no. Because I think we all know, like,
Part 2 of this Corey Feldman, Howard Stern, quote-unquote feud breakdown is Matt. How are you, sir?
Good. Happy to be here. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Actually, glad to get this one wrapped up because every day there's Corey's been since on Dancing with the Stars and been kicked out, I believe. He's been kicked off the show.
He's been kicked out of the show, and he recently, I'm out here in Portland, Oregon, on the west coast of the U.S., and we had a Rose City Comic-Con thing that I spoke at a panel at that convention, and he was there, and he called security on some fan that wanted a picture with him.
Security?
Yeah, he called security or police or whatever was at the convention to try and throw a guy out.
Did it end up happening?
No.
That's on par with Shuley doing his best to get the hotel to throw Stuttering John out of that lobby, even though it's a public, it's essentially a public place. The thing is, Corey's got the sense of victimization, the same ones the Me Too victims had in 2017, but he doesn't have. He's losing sympathy by the millions every year, And when he latched onto Me Too, basically, in that era, it got a lot more publicity. He was just a rank opportunist when it came to getting that stuff across. And again, I don't doubt he was molested on some level, but that's it's not limited to child actors, unfortunately, and he would be just one of many. But he had a thing where he just went on constantly, the Stern Show, and we continued from last time, guys, 1997, with his dad in, I'm assuming, L.A., somewhere in Hollywood, perhaps, and or it could have been in Vegas for all I know, but I think it was California. And then he was on the phone for about in 1999, something like that. But then there was this clip from 2002 where his band play against the Losers. I've condensed it. It's only a couple minutes. It's like 6 minutes long. We're going to go through both performances and some of the preamble. So here you go, guys.
Okay.
And you are very full of yourself.
I'm not.
No, you
I
are.
think my
No, you
band
really-
sucks.
No, and they do.
Okay, fine.
That's true.
But will you
guess
admit?
what?
But guess what?
Yeah. You think
Hopefully-
I know.
Your band sucks too.
Hopefully, I will beat you, and then you're going to say, you know what? I
Okay,
must
but see-
really
but see,
suck.
Okay, first of all, I want to say actually three things.
Say everything you want.
Okay, A, there is no contest.
What?
And I'll
Why?
tell you why there's no contest.
Why is there no contest?
Number one, because first of all, these judges who are all lovely people, I'm sure, are your guests.
No,
Nobody-
we said let's
nobody-
get three. What?
Nobody goes
They
against.
understand.
Here we go.
Nobody goes
the
against.
So right there, he says, oh, it's no contest, whatever. I was doing too deep of a dive on Corey Feldman, as I tend to do with his recent Dancing with the Stars thing.
Sure.
And he was doing some of the promo for that. He mentioned, oh, had I done this back when my Good Morning America thing took off, I would have been first place easily. And so he's doing a similar thing here. If
Yeah.
nothing else that we've learned with this episode and the last one on Feldman is he doesn't lack for confidence, but he often gets in his own way and becomes irritating.
Not only that, he's setting up the circumstances under which he can fail, and knows he will. Like there's something in him like this is a fail safe. I'm going to protect myself by saying this is biased, and they're going to find for Howard and the band, and we're not going. There's no chance we're going to win. It's a kangaroo court. When in fact, I mean, you guys be the judge. We've already heard. I know. When I heard this the first time, they were all both awful, but Corey was really bad. Howard, the difference being Howard with so many effects on his voice, and it was a straight cover, and he's doing something, Corey's doing something original. I suppose you got to give him points, but the look on the judges' faces when they're playing is incredible. So here we go, guys.
Howard on Howard.
So you won't believe? Let me talk to the judges.
Not
then.
We had a judges meeting.
Not a chance in
We had a
hell.
judges
That
meeting
is
before.
Tell me about
true
the
at
meeting.
all.
We had a
Yeah,
judges meeting before
So they're
where
already taking your side. See?
They're not taking my side because I have had no contact with the guys about this. Gary got them. He knows that all three of them have credibility in the music business. All three of them have accomplished something.
Okay.
They have reputations.
I'm not discrediting that in any way.
All right, let me ask something. Brian Koppelman first. Let me give you Brian's credentials. All right? Okay, here we go. From 1988 to 1997, Brian was an A&R representative for Elektra Records and EMI Records.
Yep.
You've also produced movies, the following movies. One of my favorites, and Corey, I bet it's one of your favorites, is Rounders.
which I wrote. I didn't wrote
was
it.
actually up for that movie.
I wrote the movie.
Corey's saying I was up for that movie.
The Rounders, man, my first job is I worked at a movie theater owned by Georgia Theater Company in Marietta, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. And Rounders is one of the first movies I was playing when I started working there.
Okay,
With Matt Damon and John Malkovich. And
that's right.
it's a not very good movie about like corrupt gamblers or something like that.
Yeah,
But having to clean up that movie theater, I heard that stupid Counting Crows song in the end credits over and over again for like a solid month.
God. I have to bite my tongue when I talk about Counting Crows around the wife because she's a massive fan, and I have to put up with that music, but I loathe them to no end. Although I will admit, when they were on the Stern Show at the Sirius era, they played a cover of a Grateful Dead song, and it was actually pretty good, I have to say. But I'm thinking, well, maybe they're a band I like when they cover somebody else's songs, but their own songs are dog shit.
Well, it could be. And speaking of covers with this.
Yeah.
It's like if one person is doing a cover and it's in a competition, the other person should do a cover because a cover can do nothing but help you. It's
I
a
think
song
so.
that people recognize, right?
Yeah.
even if you've seen it poorly, the judges could have fond memories of like, oh, I love this in high school or whatever.
Right. And if the music's good and the singer's bad, maybe you think, well, it sounded musically fine, so that gives it a bit of an edge. But if something sounds like we threw the kitchen sink in, like which is what Corey's song sounds like, and just,
Yeah.
just see whatever sticks to the wall. And he's got it's an interesting thing with Feldman. He's got this. It's like self-belief mired um, in delusion. It's not just self-belief and delusion. It's self-belief mired in uh, self-loathing as well. Like I think there is some part of him that really believes he's worthless, but the bluster has to be stronger than that. So he has to push forward. And I think at some point he knows he's a fraud, but he can't face it.
And if he always brings up arguments like, oh, I was ahead of my time, I was ahead of the game, that really makes
Yes,
you look all the more behind the times.
yeah, I think so.
Because if you try to chase a trend, and it takes as long as it takes in the business to come out with an album or movie or whatever, if you're trying to
Hmm.
be current, by the
Hmm.
time it comes out, you'll be, yesterday's news.
Yep, 100%.
Did you do it? Did you ever see my
You
audition
woke up
tape?
for it? I saw your audition tape, and I hope you play better today.
Whoa! Oh, Brian,
That's
coming out swinging.
my fondest wish, my man.
Corey,
Well, you can't please everybody,
So
Corey.
obviously, if you're already trying to insult me, how are you going to possibly look at the
You're
news?
gonna
you
turn it
insulted him.
around. You're
I'm a
gonna
huge
turn it
Stand By
around.
Me fan.
Okay, fuck's sake. So yeah, so Corey wins no points for being amenable. He's already, again, discrediting the judges, whatever. But again, it's predicated on he knows he sucks deep down inside.
Yeah, and it's, for whether it's this segment on Howard Stern or whether it's, American Idol or Dancing with the Stars or one of the TV shows, if the judges tell you something, it's in your best interest to listen to them, even if you
Right.
don't agree with it.
Yeah.
so there you go.
Teddy Champ, one of the great characters of all time. You were
Thank you.
awesome,
Thank you.
even if your dad was a phoebe
What do you
in the
mean?
movie.
In the movie. All
Dude,
right, Corey, next judge.
He's a fan.
Next judge.
Okay. All right, Robin.
You might recognize the face.
Peanut gallery over
You might recognize this gentleman, Matt Pinfield.
Yes.
You see him on
Big fan
TV all
of
the
your
time.
work. Big fan of
Okay.
your work. Thank you.
Matt is the senior director of A&R Columbia Records. He also hosts MTV's 120 Minutes, a weekly alternative rock roundup.
I know for a fact that Matt's got a good point of view. I mean,
Okay.
I've seen his work. And
So
I know
you're
that
willing to submit to
and
his judgment?
Well, I'm willing to say that I know that in most cases he very, very fairly gives his opinion.
Okay, so
However-
I'm not setting anything
However,
up.
what?
However,
So I'll give Howard this much. For this segment, the judges are legitimate. It's not
Yep.
like he's having his co-host be judges or have people with a whack pack do it.
Yeah.
They're people with legitimate music bona fides.
Well, yeah, they don't have there's no reason not to. Well, there is one thing. So it's 2002. The industry is already in full upheaval. Although, there's still stars now 23 years later that buck the trend. I read that Taylor Swift sold 4 million copies of her latest album.
Yeah, there's that. There's also my friend and I were seeing a movie at the theater, and they had a preview. They had posters from Taylor Swift thing, and I assume, oh, is it another concert film?
Yeah.
And I mean, you could barely even call it a movie. It was just like, it looked like it was a collection of music videos with some behind the scenes stuff.
Hmm.
But that still opened at #1. I mean, she's
She's
a
a
hot
phenom.
ticket right now, so you might as well, ride that wave until it goes away.
Till people get sick of you, absolutely.
we are in the Howard Stern Forum.
Jerry Blair, the guy sitting right next to you, Corey, currently runs Mariah Carey's new record label. He was the executive vice president at Arista Records. The guy's got some credibility.
These guys.
Oh, poor guy. That guy undertook the redevelopment of Mariah Carey at the time when she had her glitter breakdown, I think. 2002, just about then, was when she released that one album that stiffed badly. And
Right.
the reinvention, and it was just awful. And one of the funny things, if you look at that one Mariah Carey album, it's been photoshopped in different countries to make her look whiter in certain countries,
Mm.
and in other ones to make her look darker. They put pants on her where she's got like hot pants on it instead, because they want to be a little prudish for certain markets. I found that fascinating. Just in the, it wasn't like John and Yoko, two virgins in a brown paper bag. It literally was whatever the market calls for, we'll put her in a burqa if we need to, because we got to sell.
Yeah, at the time, SNL, whoever was doing the news segment, weekend update segment on SNL, it might have been Jimmy Fallon, I'm thinking. The joke they had when her album bombed, which was pretty, or the movie and the album for Glitter bombed,
Right.
was that at the time, it was not too long after September 11th, and like, oh, Al Qaeda likes to hide in, cavernous places where there's not a lot of people, like theaters playing Glitter, was the joke. And she got very angry about that.
Well, frig. I mean, like that was like that predates the J-Lo best love story never told, and she's just recently on Stern, and Graven sent me a clip of the interview, and it's exactly what you might think. Two phony assholes, but she's worse because she's throwing on this affectation, like, oh, it was horrible not to be in love. And she's really pushing it's almost like inside the actor's studio. He's got all the cookie cutter questions, but she takes it to an extra level of cringe by trying to emote, and she's so phony you can hear it in every answer, every wisp of every answer.
Yeah, on Mr. Show, David Cross, they did a sketch where they made fun of inside the actor's studio, and
Sure.
David Cross was James Lipton, and he would get on his hands and knees and start washing the guest feet with a sponge as he would ask him these cookie cutter questions, like,
yeah.
So why was this movie not the most, best selling of all time?
Right.
Or, asking these softball questions.
Yeah.
And with Howard Stern, whenever they have a big guest on, which is less and less these days, I get so irritated by the promos where they make it sound like it's the biggest deal, but the guest is like 25 years too late.
Big time.
This is the guest everyone will like. It is Jennifer Lopez. She's too hot for trot. She's coming in hot and sexy at 62 years old.
Well, and truthfully, so she was supposed to be on the show earlier when that movie, the one that I was talking about, the doc, came out. Right. But she was also, it was to coincide with the tour. The tour canceled. The movie bombed, obviously. And I think her people just pulled her out because once she knew she was canceling the tour, there was no point doing any press.
Sure.
So she had nothing to promote. That was it. The other thing is, I'll guarantee to you, even though I have not cut the clips, but I'm supposed to, that's my duty, that she had to pre-approve all the questions before she agreed to the interview.
Right.
Two control freaks, but she's even more so.
You guys all have credibility. They all are obviously
And
very
why would they
established.
risk it by lying to you on this show?
I'm out to prove a point. You're out to prove a point. You're out to prove a point that you're better than me.
No.
I'm out to prove a point that I suck, and I'm telling you to retire.
Hold on. I don't have to prove a point that I'm better than you. The proof is there. It's done.
It's there.
Let's hear from our three judges.
Gonna go to the place that's the best. When they lay me down and die, I'm going way on up to the spirit in the sky. Going up to the spirit in the sky. That's where I'm going when I die. When I die.
Go ahead.
I'll give Stern credit. It is reverb all to hell with the vocals, but they make sure he doesn't go out of his range.
Yeah.
And so he looks less foolish than he could trying to hit a high note. And it's a song that's practically like a song that Rex Harrison could have done a Dr. Dolittle or something. You could do it as like a talk song.
Oh yeah. Well, there's nothing to it. And then of course the music, excuse me, the music itself was, again, something that Fred probably learned a long time ago. It covers, King Norris makes their own original bullshit, but you start off like most bands covering songs, and that would have been one of them. And you're right that there's an instant recognition. There's a likability factor because it's like an old chestnut, FM chestnut. So they're safe. But the other thing is, what I love is they have to bury his voice the way they used to bury Kelly Osbourne's when she did that cover of Like a Virgin.
Right. Yeah.
Do you remember that one?
Yes, I do.
If you do,
You won't get an argument.
If you do, I think you should retire from this music career of yours.
That won't happen anyway.
Well,
See, I do what I do. Just to clarify, I do what I do for the love of music, and I don't do it to impress anybody. I do it because I enjoy doing it. So therefore, did my mic just get cut? What happened?
Well, that's clear.
What happened?
All right.
Oh, okay.
You're all set.
So anyway, so the point I'm making is I do this because I love doing it. So if nobody ever bought a record, or if, as you say, people didn't show up to the shows, which is untrue, we turned away 200 people in Orlando. Thank you very much.
All right.
But anyway.
200. That's great.
Maybe 20, or I mean, it's just, and the way he's talking about the microphone not working, and you see footage of him live talking bad to his crew. You can really tell a lot about someone's character by performers by how they treat the sound crew. It's the same as if you go into a restaurant and with someone and see how they treat a waiter. Like, it really says a lot about you. It's a thankless job doing tech crew. I've done it for live shows sometimes before, and that's part of what makes doing a live show exciting. But there's always like risk, like something is going to go wrong, and you have to.
Hell,
that's why you have do the studio checkup stuff beforehand, and you're trying to mitigate risk. But like with stunt people, there's always risk there.
Well, hell, McCartney's mic went out doing I think Let It Be maybe during a Live Aid. So
oh man,
yeah, I mean, like he was closing the show pretty much. So that wasn't exactly the lowest profile gig on the planet for something like that to happen. But you're right, it does happen. And so yeah, he's setting up the table to make the failure palatable or understandable and comprehensible, so he doesn't come off worse. But at the end, he'll have people saying, "Oh God, you were great. They robbed you. You're right. Whatever." He doesn't have people in his world that feed him reality. Otherwise, they're not around for very long.
Yeah, and when I saw Corey Feldman live in 2001, the stuff he did that was okay were his covers. He did a cover of, I think, Centerfold by the Jay Giles band.
Giles, yeah.
He did a cover of, what is it, Pray Little Sister from Lost Boys or something that was, or Cry Little Sister, whatever it is. Like, not great, but I mean, it was still something in that it was a song people recognize. Like, I think he should have done the Cyndi Lauper Goonies Are Good Enough song. Like, I think that would have gotten a good reaction.
I mean, he should have fun with the joke, I think, is what it's that.
Yes.
He's not Weird Al Yankovic, but he's not also, it's not necessary for him to be do parodies, do straight covers, and for a joke, for a lark, I think people would be more amenable to it. Have a little bit of self-deprecation. He doesn't have that. He lacks that completely.
Read reviews, but
the proof is in the pudding.
I've heard good things and bad. Let's just see what it is.
So the point is, it's about the music, and that's why I do what I do. And even if we never sold another ticket, even if we never released another album, I would still keep writing music and still keep playing it. That's my word.
I only pray we embarrass.
And we're still tortured. My
embarrass
God.
you.
Well, and nobody gives a shit. Like there's footage of him, doing a concert by a swimming pool at some hotel in Cancun, and he gives a 5-minute speech about why this number from Rock and Roll High School Forever. That's not the one with the Ramones. That's the second one that he starred in.
Right, exactly.
It is, so good, and like no one cares. And it's like the more he talks, he's just giving people ammo to use against him with the criticism.
He's his own worst enemy.
Oh, absolutely not.
All right, Corey, what is the name of this song?
The song is the title track of the forthcoming album, which will be released in your stores August 6th. Please go pick it up.
What label? What label?
Former Child Actor.
Former Child Actor. I didn't hear a label mentioned. Okay, here we go. Former Child Actor. Corey Feldman and his band.
In, box, in, locked out, shut down. I want so much more. You can't see me, you can't free me. I am just your home. The work I do is all the same. I look around.
Jesus Christ. So, hold on. Okay, I had to stop it there before I got any more. Obviously, he loses, but the if the one shining part when you can hear it, if there's anything about it, because it's all over the place. The backup singers are there to overpower him actually and hide his voice, not to enhance anything.
Yeah, and when the backup singers aren't that great, but they can still hit notes and they overshine him
Yes.
going live. And clearly they aren't processing his vocals as much as they did with Howard.
No.
But if you're going to do a music competition against the host of a radio show, you're set up to lose anyway.
Yes, you're at a disadvantage.
Right.
To say the least. So the next one, guys, is a clip from, I'm going to say 2013-ish. He was promoting his book Choreography, and it's something that it's a clip of it where he actually talks about Stern. So we'll go right into that.
Howard Stern. Can take it or leave it. I got involved with Howard because of my friendship with Sam. Sam and I were, obviously very close. At a certain point, we were like brothers. He was always talking about Howard. You got to go do Howard. You got to go do Howard. He always wanted to encourage that. And I listened to Howard, for a bit before I got involved. And I knew he was funny. I knew he was smart. He was fast and hard hitting. But in the end, he turned on me. So, there was always a certain level of respect that Howard gave me when I would do the show, where even though he was taking his shots, he would let the audience know that it was combative, and he was open to the back and forth nature of it. He wasn't trying to actually smear me in any way. But the final episode I did was Battle of the Bands, and I was on tour with my band. I was doing my my tour for my second solo album, Former Child Actor. And we did this thing which he had been conceiving for quite a while called Battle of Bands, where he wanted to have his band, which wasn't really a band, go up against my band. And we all knew that it was set up, and we all knew that I was going to lose, and they were going to talk about how great they were. And I was fine with all that. But what he did was take it a step further. And he basically went out of his way to try and make us look bad.
See, he's insane.
He can't let go. He takes everything too personally.
Yep.
And yeah, if you constantly think of yourself as a musical genius, like he seems to,
yeah,
that means you're always going to be disappointed if you set yourself up that high.
Yep.
Like, why not? It's like someone out of. I was like this, frankly, when I got graduated from art school, and I was like, oh, why won't I get hired? Whatever. And you have to make your own path and do it for yourself. And it's hard. It's a grind and it's hard work every time. That's not to say it's not worth it, but that he expects gifts and plaudits to be thrusted upon him.
Well, he's entitled, first of all. But the second thing is, notice in this video, what he's going back to is not the What's Up with the Youth 1992 video, which he later on clings to as the reason why he was pissed off with Howard. Now he's talking about the two the thing 10 years later, and there's no mention of the first appearance. Why is that? I mean, if something was really so, first of all, if it was so bad, then why'd you go back? So this is hence the reason for these videos. But second of all, why forget about this then all of a sudden? Like you're switching, he's deciding what he's pissed off about from day to day, and it changes. When it changes, you're not really pissed off about anything. You're grasping at straws.
Yeah, and even that he sets it up with, I was fine going on knowing I was going to lose and all that stuff. Like, I don't believe that for a second.
No, of course not. And he had to set it up for, it's almost, Morrissey has a legendary reputation now for canceling gigs constantly. Sometimes, and so people get burned loads of times. If you have to make a special trip, if it's in your city, it's one thing. You can get a refund, okay. But if someone who goes in, drives, and knows they're coming in and decide the day of they cancel, or you don't even get that notice, you've got hotels you maybe have to pay for, expenses, gas, like food, all that stuff that you're going to spend. And you may never go to another concert again if you get treated like that by people who don't have legitimate reasons. If you know this person is always going to come up with bullshit excuses, you can't take anything seriously what they have to say.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think, with these visuals, Corey's hair being black like that, I think looks okay. He doesn't look good with the goatee, so I think that's a better look. But he's against a hideous striped tan and brown couch that looks like something out of my grandma's kitchen.
Well, yeah, well, he looks less. First of all, he's not as made up as he normally is, and this is for RF Video from way back when. I don't know why in God's name they would interview Corey Feldman. They used to do, wrestling shoots and stuff. But I guess when they could get CD level celebrities, they would. But nevertheless, here we go, guys.
And it's one thing to try and make jokes, another thing to talk about somebody's personal life or their sex life. That's all fine and dandy. But when you start trying to take dollars out of my pocket and make people not turn up for a show in New York City because, Howard Stern says it's the worst music ever made, and people were listening at that time, I felt that it was just way below the belt.
You just very recently were up at the studios where Howard has his show.
Yep.
And from what I understand, there was 2 ships passing in the night. Did you guys get to...
No.
Nothing.
No, Gary came in and said hello.
If Howard came in...
I'd say hi, it'd be, friendly.
Do you feel Howard Stern stabbed you in the back?
To an extent, yeah. Yeah.
And...
I mean, look, I got him a lot of ratings. A lot of where he is today was as a result of my help. Not to say I'm fully responsible in any way. He's great at what he does, and he had a tremendous guest list during those days. But I was on that show over 50 times and never got paid 1 cent. So
50 times. Do you recall Feldman being on, in all your years of listening to Stern, did you really hear him that often on the show? Or would you say, I went through, I counted about, 5 appearances.
Yeah, if that, maybe it'd be a dozen if you counted little brief things if he called in or something. But yeah, It's not he's exaggerating for effect.
Yes.
And unless it's a AAA star, I don't think Stern, pays for celebrities to go in a show. And for a show of that stature, it is not uncommon for celebrities to get paid to come on to do interviews and that sort of thing.
Sure.
Because you're paying them for their time.
Yep. And it would usually be scale, union scale, whatever. I don't know, for the...
No, sure, yeah, it's not top dollar.
It depends. Back in the day, Bill Maher he told about this when he was on WTF. The Tonight Show would send you a first-class ticket, return ticket to go wherever you were living in the city, back to, in the country, back to, over to Burbank, and then, back. He says you would immediately return that ticket and refund it for an economy ticket and pocket the difference. And that was basically, it was Johnny's way of making sure you got some more money out of it than the union standard, which was not really that much scale, which wasn't that much, but you did have to be paid to perform for certain.
Yeah, and whether you're, a lower level music actor, you're just getting started in stand-up comedy, you lose money touring a lot of times because you might get a free burger and a beer, and that's it. You don't get, and there's stories of comedians that tour with younger guys that they'll take a big chunk out of their thing just to pay them a few $1,000 cash to help them get by.
Yeah. Well, the FM, one of the guys in FM 84 discussed it online, it was a Twitter thing. They were just talking about, they asked, why aren't you touring? Why can't you tour? And he explained about the financials, the realities of touring. And I explained, I said to him, I've read a story that it was one of the stories in Roger Daltrey's book, where he said they pay for the tour up front. Essentially, the band fronts the money for the tour to pay off the venues, to pay off the unions, everything, craft services. So you're in the red when you start the tour, and then gig by gig, you start to make the money back in ticket sales, swag, all those things. And then he says, hopefully by the end of the tour, it's about the last few dates where you start to see money come in. And he goes, but until that happens, you're deathly worried, like you're going to give out your voice, you got to refund tickets on this gig. There's a thunderstorm and it's an outdoor show and we have to cancel it. All these things that cost money, and and he says the financial realities and the risks for a band that's for a band like The Who. Imagine the lower level, the 800 seat type bands, the 500 seat, the club bands, they're really in the hole. Unless they're doing it completely DIY, driving, in their own beat up van and stuff. That most people don't know about that.
Yeah, which is why it's important if you see a show to buy the merch, because that's how they really make their money, as
A good
opposed to the
chunk of it,
tickets.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, how much money did I make for Howard Stern, and how much money did Howard Stern make for me? I'm pretty sure that the batting average goes in his favor.
Okay, thanks, Corey. So the next one is a clip of him on the Today Show. I condensed it, so we just get the performance. And I'm going to say this is 2014, maybe 2016. It could be even later. It could be more recent than that. But here we go.
If you grew up in the 80s, right here, then you may have had some Corey Feldman posters on your walls. I'm going to say it right here. His name is synonymous with the decade. Movies like The Goonies, Stand By Me, License to Drive. He's always had a passion for singing.
Look. He came back from the Druid Festival.
He looks like he just did Stonehenge's Final Tap or something. I don't know. Like, it looks like he might be on something. He just seems really out of it, and he should have used the leverage from this performance to go in Dancing with the Stars at this time.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, when he does some of his moves, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. But because it's Corey Feldman, it gets the level of cringe goes a little higher anyway. Just like there's an instant, like as soon as you know it's Corey Feldman, you go, oh God. And then you don't give him the benefit of the doubt. That's the whole point. Like, he doesn't get a pass. It's the direct opposite.
And it's his age too that he's doing this stuff at, right? If you saw this like at a middle school or a high school,
yes.
What do you call it? Like stage performance thing?
Production, yeah.
Production, right? Yeah. At the for spring break or whatever. Like, that'd be one thing. But you see someone with just that much confidence saying like, "Oh, I own this stage. People are going to love this."
Yep.
And you got a lot further to fall when you pull this shit in your 40s.
Oh, yeah.
And now Corey's got a double CD.
Yes, and we hear it's a labor of love for you. 10 years in the making. It's called Angelic to the Core, and he's going to sing for us in just a moment. Corey, good morning.
You're laughing at that album cover.
I am, yeah. A friend of mine got to see him live when he came to Portland. I wish I would have gone to the show, but even then, I think at $40, it was a bit steep for me at the time. But
very much.
With the whole angel thing.
That album cover, by the way, looks like something straight out of like Windows 95, like photo art.
Yes.
It's so embarrassingly bad. He put it together himself.
Right. Yeah. Low production value.
Yep.
To you.
Good morning to you guys.
The angelic, I see it all around me.
We see why.
The angel band.
Tell me what's happening. You got a Grim Reaper look going on. And the angels are here. I don't like this interaction.
No, it's all actually the whole theme of the album is good versus evil, heaven versus hell, all that sort of thing. So they're angelic, and if you look actually at the artwork on the album, you'll see that it's me trying to crawl out of a fiery pit, and it's the angel.
Now you could do a version of this cover that would look kind of cool. Like get like Todd McFarlane, who did the Spawn comics, or someone to do like artwork, or
sure.
That it's done as a wide shot where it looks like Corey is stuck in a hole because he's too overweight or something, and then he has these models trying to pull him out. It's not a flattering angle. The color of the font of Corey Feldman, you can't read it against like the ash on the ground.
You've got this brass plate typography for the title on this banner that clearly looks like clip art, like just random, stuff you find online. And in the background, like these fires that look like, here, give a 5-year-old some watercolors. But oranges, yellows, and just make whatever comes out of that, that's going to be superimposed on the album. So clearly, not a hell of a lot of thought and behind this, but also a hell of a lot of delusion to believe that this is the finished product. This is what it should look like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
angels pulling me out. So that kind of all goes along with the concept.
Why is this? Why this concept?
Well, probably because
I asked the same thing.
Yeah, I think, is that Billy Bush hosting that?
I think so, yeah.
I think so. I mean, he's being a bit too honest with his questions. Like, I don't know if they did any prep, or it doesn't seem like it, but he's actually asking good questions instead of the usual, well, we're so excited. Oh, this is a 2-disc set. Oh, that's fantastic. Instead of like, why the hell are you doing this?
Exactly. Yeah.
That angels have probably saved me once or twice in my life, and I like helping them as well. That's why I created Corey's Angels, as a way to help girls who are like kind of lost and needed to find their way to get their opportunities, their dreams, and make them realities. And that's what we do. We try to help them make their realities, their dreams.
And you dedicated one album to Michael Jackson and the other to Corey Haim, is that right?
Yeah, there's actually 4 dedications. One to my grandfather, one to Corey Haim, one to Michael Jackson. Majestic, who was also a friend of Michael's.
So there's going to be some MJ moves coming.
Okay, now he's since backed off of the support of Michael Jackson, in the last 6 years, I suppose, when that Leaving Neverland documentary, quote unquote, came out. And he has since sort of said, look, he didn't do anything to me, but I can't defend these allegations, blah, blah, blah. But he did for the longest time. He was a massive holdout for Michael Jackson, and whatever people believe is up to them. But the other thing is, I believe these angels, at least 1 or 2 of them, sued him, didn't they, after the fact?
Yeah, they sued him because they weren't getting paid. I used to work at a company where there is what can I say about this? There is it's something with the Michael Jackson estate that ended up falling through. But the reaction of people within the company, we had people all over the world working at this company, whether we should go for it or not. This was right around the time of that Finding Neverland thing, or shortly after. And it was really interesting to see some people from people, like outside of the US or Asia in particular, were like, oh, we love Michael Jackson, there's no problem with him. And then in the United States, like, it was something different. And whatever happened with Michael Jackson, he's 1,000% a talented musician.
Right.
And can you separate the art from the artist? Like, it's very difficult. And for me to be in a circumstance like that, not high up, albeit, but at a company, it's very different than if you're just reading in the news about what's going on, when at the same time when you're trying to make a business decision.
Yeah. Coming here in a minute.
Does it kind of come
no
a little
MJ
bit?
moves. It's kind of a similar style of dance because we grew up dancing together. So he was my idol, obviously, and a lot of my influences.
If you have that feeling it's about to go down in here, I also have it. Let's do this.
We're going to go for it.
Take it away.
Here we go.
This interpretive sprocket sketch.
Yeah, I mean, if only Mike Myers was on stage, that could only help this. The hoodie just makes it all the more humorous because it's covering up most of his face, and he's in the phase where he has the long black hair on his forehead.
And the one that the super condensed cowlick. Yeah.
Get it? All she gonna do is twerk. Hit the club. Tell him.
They try to beat you down. They put you on the ground. They leave you lying there. They're broken down and make a sound. Don't you notice them? They check your life again. Make you beg for mercy, still nobody notice them. Just when you think it's all over, no hope in life, so what you gonna do? Every shot flies from exposure. So what have you got to lose? We got nothing to lose, so baby, let's go for it. Come on, let's go for it. We got nothing to lose, so baby, let's go for it. Come on, let's go for it. To the sky.
Okay, guys, that's as much as I had stomach to cut, so we're going to leave that as it is. So the music, first of all, there's no drums. It's all sequenced, and they've got a couple supposedly live players there, but it did sound so canned that it might be lip syncing anyway. Like he might be singing, they might be, but the instrumentation, I don't know, maybe they're really playing it. Just it seems false. Either way, from that, nothing really came of it. So I do believe it was 2016 or 2017, somewhere around that time, maybe even a little later.
Yeah, on the album for the rap in that track, they have Snoop Dogg, but they couldn't afford to bring him on live with the the show because that would have been a lot more money.
Yep.
And they have someone else who is not Snoop doing it, and you can tell. And just like the song he did on the Howard Stern show in the competition, he did. The song has too big of a instrumental intro.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives him time to dance and not sing, and it just sets him up again for failure. Not that his vocals are any great things either, but at least if you start a song like, oh, there's a melody, maybe I could jam to this. Instead, it's this other crap going around.
Well, and so that's key. Like you're right. If he was to stick with anything, I suppose it would be the dancing, or just acting. Like just go and be an actor. Like do whatever you have to do. Don't be going into this realm where you've got no business being in. When Kinnison was at his, I wouldn't say peak, but right before he passed away, he released an album that was half covers, half comedy. And it takes a tremendous amount of hubris to think that you should be doing more music because you think you're that talented. The problem was he had a hit with Wild Thing, which was just funny. I mean, it was a funny cover, but it should have been where it ended. And he thought, no, I'm going to go further. And it wasn't that the music was bad playing, but who needs to hear Sam Kinison doing covers? You're not a karaoke act. You're a comedian. Stick with that. Why bother settle with being like the 15th best guitarist in the room when you can be the best comedian in the room?
Right. 1 second. Do you hear my dog in the background?
A little bit, but don't worry about it.
A little bit. Okay. So we'll keep on.
Yeah, that's life happening.
Sure. Right. Yeah. There's a reason why a lot of actors only do one album and don't do another one. It's hard work. It's not their specialty. It looks a bit pathetic if it's outside of your wheelhouse. If you can get a hit on the radio, a hit single off of that, like that's great. I think that's about as high success as you can hope for. And if you're in one branch of the entertainment business, making a leap from movies to music or vice versa is a lot easier than trying to get one of them to begin with.
So the next one, guys, is more recently the aforementioned Howie Mandel show. And again, I apologize in advance if none of this is allowed to make it to YouTube. I'm doing my best to make sure it does. But if it doesn't happen, that just blame the copyright ID shit. But it'll make it on Podbean and everything else that we assign it to. But he goes in for this, and this made the rounds on Reddit and all those things. But this is, again, change your decision make a decision on why you hate Howard or why you're pissed off at him, and don't switch it in midstream, asshole. This is exactly what he does.
But the point being, there's been a constant through line and a constant theme that started with Howard Stern, because I went on Howard Stern to perform What's Up with the Youth, which was this song that Michael said would be #1. And he said, well, we're going to do this kind of sketch around you where we're going to make it like Club MTV, but it's going to be Club Howie. That's what he called it, Club Howie. And they're like, so it's Club Howie, and you're going to come on here, and, I'm going to be in my Right Said Fred get up with a bald cap on and, a cool leather outfit, and you're going to dance around, and, I'll be the host, and that'll be the skit. And I said, okay, great, no problem. And I get out there, and they've got a midget in a hula skirt.
At first, I love how he has to correct him on this. He said midget when it's been long since been understood. I think by most people, you don't say that word anymore. And Corey's just too stuck in a time warp to bother with such niceties.
And Howie Mandel looks so bored.
Yeah. So you think this was foisted on him?
I think it was, or maybe it was a favor or something. Who knows? Maybe. Feldman was trying to pull in a favor and going to be on the Howie Mandel show.
Maybe.
Thank you. A little person in a hula skirt dancing in front of me. They've got girls in bikinis tossing back and forth a blow-up doll. They've got people acting like they are special needs, shall we say, in diapers and things like that. all of this going on around me, and I'm an 18, 19-year-old kid just trying to play my music. What?
One sec, I gotta make sure of this timeline.
He was not 19. No,
that's what I can't fathom that. I can't believe that. Corey Feldman. Let's see.
So what's up with the youth? I think might have been on his album with the pink cover.
He was born in 1971, so in 1992 he was. If I was 1970, okay, I was 17. He was 21. So I looked it up. He was 21, not 18 or 19, and the key here is when he says, I know the psychology. It doesn't take rocket science. By calling himself a teen, he's giving himself another out. Like, I was too young to know any better. But if you're 21, you're going for it. Like, that's the whole point. Like, you're an adult now, legally.
Yeah, and the business is transactional no matter how you slice it. People aren't doing stuff out of the goodness of their hearts. And if you're nice to the host for the show you're being on, guess what? You'll probably be treated better.
Yeah.
What's Up with the Youth, which is a pretty important song. The words are very meaningful and deep, and it's about how can we raise the bar for the kids in our culture and listen and communicate so that we don't keep making the same mistakes and they end up in drugs and alcohol and all this terrible stuff that's going on, crime and blah, blah, blah. So this was a song for the day, for the a message for the times of bringing our children into the forethought of our minds.
Okay, let me just go. I'll do this Steve Allen style. The times are changing. Yeah, they're just rearranging with you. Look at your children. See, there's nobody home. Look at the schoolyard. You'll find 44s and pocket knives. And look in the lockers, and your mind will be blown. Nobody tries to understand them. Nobody tries to hold their hands. Nobody tries to bring them some attention. Nobody tries to give them a chance. What's up with the youth? And then repeat. There was a kid named Matthew. He worked at, and then there's a question mark because they couldn't decipher it. He was a junkie and he bought it at school. And somebody stabbed him because he thought he was a gangster. He was just trying to be cool. Who the fuck? Like what kind of fentanyl was Michael Jackson on that he would tell him, "Oh, that's a #1 song," unless it was simply, you know what? I'll tell you anything I want, Corey, but just to shut you the fuck up and get you out of my head.
And maybe he just wanted Corey to leave his house and say, you know what, I'll leave him on an up note. I'll be nice to him.
Yeah.
I already bought him 30 Sega Genesis games.
Right.
Let's leave you with, this is a big hit. I want you to keep going, kid.
Yeah, keep going, but you don't do it anywhere near me. And by the way, get out.
That's what the purpose of the song was. And instead it turned into this complete lunacy, lampooned ridiculousness that went completely viral 20 years later. But at the time it was just on his KCAL Channel 9 TV show, and it was terribly embarrassing, and I was like, well, glad nobody will ever see that again. And then, of course, YouTube comes around, and they brought it back, and it went viral, and now everybody sees that and goes, Corey Feldman's a joke.
Okay, Corey, first off, they didn't need that video to tell you were a joke. Again, dude, just drop the hangers on. Admit it to yourself. You're horribly untalented. I mean, even acting. We did it in part 1, that film that you mentioned that was what was it?
What was it called?
Yeah. He was like a wooden cigar store Indian. He was just horrible.
Yeah, and you're going on Howard Stern. It's a comedy program. You're not going on like the Casey Kasem Top 40
there you go.
right? You're not going on a straight music program.
Yeah. Like, he would have been better off in the Paul Lynde Halloween special.
Yes. Yeah, with Kiss at the end there.
Yeah.
Joke. He doesn't take it seriously. Because look at why else would he do something like that? And they think
Which
that I'm
got you to write
joking.
that song that you're...
Well, that coupled with, that is expanded to people who watch my performances and they say, like, you've spent your life on the road. Sometimes the mic goes out. Sometimes the lights don't come on. Sometimes, the house speaker goes out. There's always a problem. There's always things that happen on the road. It's just part of what happens. So what people have done, I've been touring now for 20 years, right? Done thousands of live shows, I'm sure.
Thousands. I see. Again, has he been touring? No. The Corey Feldman tours, if you look at him like playing dates, I don't know. I think he shows up at a fucking Walgreens and starts playing, and that's a gig.
Yeah, when I saw him in 2000, 2001,
Mm-hmm.
it was in a bar with, I mean, admittedly it had a stage with speakers and a monitor speaker there, but it couldn't fit more than 5 dozen people. Like, this was very, very small venues. Was it a
Yeah.
tour? Yes, but it's not, selling out massive stadiums.
No, it's not even concert halls. It's not even theaters. It's nothing. Club dates or whatever.
And people take clips of a moment of where like my mic goes out, or I'm rocking and I hit my mic into my tooth, or I walk into a speaker, or something goes wrong, the lights go out and I start yelling, turn the lights back on, or da da da, whatever it is. They grab these moments that everybody has during live shows where they maybe get heated or they get upset, and you can see it. But that was before, of course, we had Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and all this stuff where people were just constantly watching every second of what you do on stage. Well, so there's a lot of guffaws. There's a lot of moments throughout the time.
And it's context is everything.
And out of context. And they put a stringer of these together. And there's literally a guy out there right now that's got a video on YouTube that says, Corey Feldman is a fraud. Corey Feldman is a fraud. He's trolling us because it's so bad. His music is so bad, and it's such a joke, obviously, that he can't possibly take himself seriously. And not only does he not take himself seriously, but he's doing this on purpose to make all of us think that he's trying to take it seriously, so he's having a laugh at us.
You shouldn't give him, you shouldn't even give him this moment.
Yes, you should. Poor Corey. I really, maybe it's the only thing keeping him alive, this delusion, this self-delusion. I couldn't fathom being in any kind of contact with him that I wouldn't write him off, or that I wouldn't change my number or forget that. I would have to ghost him on some level.
Yeah, I mean, if I was Corey's manager, not that I'd want to be, I would advise he start a TikTok and have him react to people's reaction videos on him.
Mm-hmm.
And have him get pissed off and exaggerated and try and defend himself, and try to feed into this string of knockoff artists that are already going against him. Because everyone makes mistakes, and that's fine. But if you don't want that, don't go in the entertainment business.
Well, there's that. But the other thing is, if people are actively seeking out these things and doing their best to show everybody that you've made these mistakes, or that they don't do this necessarily for people that are beloved, or they think, this is everything. Right. These things happen, like someone falling into the stage. There's a door that got open accidentally, or a guitar went out. Yes, these things do happen. They make the most of it. One of my favorite artists, Sierra Farrell, she was there's a video of her. I think it's a short, but it was also on her Instagram and stuff. Like, she cross streams, the content on different platforms, maybe even TikTok. Someone had pulled the fire alarm at one of her concerts, so everybody had to leave, obviously, and it ended the gig before she could do her encore. So she went outside and told everybody, that's not going to stop us. And acoustically, she went and did Me and Bobby McGee and maybe a couple other songs, no mic. And I thought, bravo, like, a lot of people wouldn't do that. They'd say, well, fuck it, we couldn't do anything about it. But and I'm sure that's the kind of stuff you should make viral. What's if the negativity is all of Corey Feldman that's going out there, then there's a reason for that. It's not just by happenstance that people collect these things and release them. They hate you, dude. You're hateable.
And the more you defend it, the worse it looks. It's like if someone at middle school or in the playground is picking on you, and if you say, I didn't say that, no, or you start crying or something, like, it's not going to go well for you.
No.
But if you come up with a clever retort back, or kind of lean into the joke and become a goofball or something, there's ways you can manage that and be self-aware.
Big J. Okerson was on Rogan, and he's got a show called The Bonfire, and they make it's a cottage industry out there. People podcast fucking on Corey Feldman. I mean, I didn't realize it was that vast, but I suppose these days Everybody's got a pack of people chasing them, But again, they don't exist unless there's a market for people to want you to fail. That's the whole point. They're for people that want the subject to suffer somehow. Rogan's going through it right now himself, and all the Austin-based comics and the people in the Rogan sphere, they're all getting loads of backlash because, and again, it doesn't happen for no reason.
That's what it is.
Now they know you. They're talking shit. It's
Corey Feldman
natural.
hates my guts, and it's like,
what'd you do?
Well, I've never nonstop talking about him.
I've seen the video.
Yeah. We've never stopped going. Oh, yeah.
Do you hate on his dancing?
Yeah.
Maybe it's getting better.
We're not even hating on it at all. I love it. I want to do nothing different. And I wish he tried to have us not allowed at his show when he opened for Limp Bizkit.
Not allowed?
Yeah, and this head of security was a fan. He came over to me and Bobby Kelly, and he was like, he was asking if you guys were coming. I said yes. Then he asked if he could know where you were. Then he asked if we could not let you in, and I was like, well, they're not doing anything. They're not threatening you or anything. They're coming to watch a show. And he was like, well, can I at least know where they're sitting at? And he goes, it'll be wherever the most excited people are. And son of a bitch, were we? I mean, we were a sprout of grass on a dirt field of people. I mean, we were the only ones. We were hyped. I know all the words. He's the best. But that was the genius of Howard Stern that I fucked up. When I started getting into broadcasting, I broadcasted always like it was going to be me talking to a friend or friends, shooting the shit.
Right.
Not that you're going to come across these people. So I would have played more. What Howard Stern was always great at is like take the lunatic, but he's always going to be like, no, you're great, dude. You're the best, and let the world make the joke.
Right.
And instead, like I go at, but I was like, man, I would have loved to just have Corey Feldman come in bi-monthly to do. Hey, you got a new song? Play it, dude. I'll bite my fucking finger while I.
And I actually like Jay, but I don't follow his every word, or even his every other word. But when they did a live streaming appearance at one of the gigs, and one of the infamous gigs where Corey's wearing that weird, almost like not mother of pearl, but it has that kind of gloss. Have you seen that suit? The
Yes.
infamous guitar hat, wankery, and they were just you could see there's I don't know 50 maybe 75 people watching him collectively. So we're going to play some dual coverage of the stage and the guys at the bonfire attending this thing. Now the first thing you see is right behind them there's a whole row of like 5-6 seats empty. And if there's that many just behind the coverage here, there's a lot more all through the place. You'll be able to see from, I think, if they pan back.
Thank you very much.
Oh man. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it unless I was in on the joke. So is there any, I guess that's the question, Matt. Is there any ounce of you that thinks Corey does deep down inside, he is down with the joke?
If he was, there's the one single he did a year or two ago, maybe a year ago, called The Joke, that claims that he's in on the joke, where it's like, oh, the joke is on you, is what the lyrics are on that.
I believe I have that. One sec. The joke. Okay, let me put that in there first.
I don't think he believes it. He's trying to lean in on the joke while still not actually doing it.
So here we go with Corey Feldman, The Joke, guys.
The joke
I think I've seen plenty.
Yeah, and even if you're admitting the joke is on you as the lyrics go,
yeah,
what are you're going like? Guess what? I suck, guys. Like, what are you getting out of that? Like,
well, yeah, that's that. Like, that's I guess my point. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why it's necessary for any of that. Like, can't you just go off and do your own thing and just, you know, he's clearly just an attention whore on a base level.
yeah, and when he was on the Howie Mandel thing, he does that joke number live, and afterwards Howie applauds it and says, "Wow, this is the first time I've seen you do something that's not Michael Jackson inspired." And Feldman immediately gets defensive and says,
Sure.
like, "What do you mean? A lot of stuff I've done isn't like Michael Jackson." And it's like, "What are you talking about, man? You do the dance moves, you do the kind of the vocal stylings with the delivery, yeah, whether it's the grunge or you're trying to have the tight the notes go up and it has that tight end at the thing."
Mm-hmm.
And
so the next, no, please continue. Go ahead.
And it's one thing if you go to Vegas drunk and do this as karaoke on stage or something.
Absolutely.
But to do this and charge money for tickets, and a friend of mine tried to go on this the tour he did, the Loserville thing with Limp Bizkit, and because it was Limp Bizkit was involved, because it was a big I guess they were trying to make it like a Lollapalooza kind of thing. Like the tickets were over $100 even for the cheap seats.
Really?
But that wasn't because of Corey Feldman.
Right. That's just standard price for the entire, yeah.
Right.
Wow. Well, so I guess the question I got it. So how much would you pay to see Corey Feldman if you knew in advance it's going to be embarrassing, which we all do, but on a level of you're going to make YouTube blow up from the badness, the awfulness, is it worth any money?
I think it would be worth like $35 at most.
Oh, okay. I mean, loads of people are going to be there. They're all going to film. They're going to, it's not going to be unique. But if it was like a one-on-one thing, if he showed up at an Italian restaurant with a guitar and started playing, I mean, that would be what I would want. Not these absolute, these planned performances. I would love an impromptu jam session with Corey Feldman with a bunch of people, like him going up at the Viper Room or something and deciding I'm going to jam with, Velvet Revolver or something like that.
Yeah, a real intimate venue. I think that would be, you'd get your money's worth there.
Oh, totally. So this next clip, guys, is him on Steve-O's show Wild Ride, and it's a longer clip, but we're going to try to get all the way through it.
So I put out a documentary. You know about the documentary. I mean, I guess, or maybe not, but
I didn't know about it until I got ready to meet you today, and then I was like, "Wow!" So where's this documentary available?
It's not anymore.
It's not.
So what happened was I spent $1.3 million making this film.
Okay, first of all, you didn't spend it. You spent other people's money. It was crowdfunded for the most part. And I mean, did he put some of his own money? Possibly, but I don't believe it. And then some of the excuses he's given and will give is that it was streamed at the same time there was like a shadow streamer that like hijacked the stream and played it elsewhere. I'm certain Corey was stupid enough not to understand what was going on, but I don't believe people cared enough to hijack a stream for monetarily, like money purposes. I thought it was
he
fucked up
crashed
technically
when it launched, and it played the one time because of technical issues, which there's numerous reasons why things don't work.
Right.
And Steve-O, you can say a lot about him, but he's someone I admire in a way. He's went through a lot, gone through recovery, gotten sober.
Yep.
And he's like Corey Haim. He's endearing.
Unlike Corey Haim, yeah.
Well, maybe unlike Corey Haim, but
Corey Haim. Sorry, I thought you meant Feldman. Yeah. Sorry, that's my mistake.
No, yeah, but like Corey Haim, he's endearing, and even though he might not do the research, he seems more engaged than Joe Rogan, who often seems like a doofus and kind of gives people enough rope to hang themselves.
Mm-hmm.
At least with Steve-O's show, it seems like it's more of a conversation some of the time.
Well, it's definitely a hang, absolutely. When you go in there, and you can, and I think that carries it over. But I mean, it's like it's kind of why that Hot Ones show is brilliant, because when people are eating. You're getting them when they're vulnerable, kind of like, looking messy. You can't eat chicken wings and look like, got white gloves on. You're with a top hat and tails. And then people are disarmed. It's like, anyway, I think the setting is perfect for it. So in a way, like Dick Cavett, when Dick Cavett did the one-on-one show, but there was no audience. It was later on in his time. I always thought that was great. Charlie Rose, perfect setup, table, big round table, chairs, enough distance physically, but it does look like just a hang, more or less, like at a diner table.
We premiered at the Directors Guild. There was 700 people there, sold out audience, standing room only, amazing, incredible. And the night we get there, we start the film, and it was streaming globally because I was the first person actually ever to do a live global streaming VOD premiere.
And people had to pay to stream
pay-per-view, right.
He's not the first person to do it by any means.
He's not. I've done some live video directing on a few projects, and there's just a lot of ducks you have to have in a row.
Yeah.
And if even one person has a bad internet connection somewhere along the line, that can tank it. It's not a big conspiracy. He loves to say things are conspiracies.
Yeah.
To make it seem like he's not at fault.
No, it was just technical snafu.
Was it successful?
It would have been had we not gotten hacked and pirated.
Okay.
Okay, so as the film started, all of a sudden the thing froze, and people all over the world who paid money to see the film could not see it because there was an interruption of service. It's called a DDoS server attack. Okay. So we got a DDoS server attack that shut down the film, shut down the stream. They actually copied it. They stole the stream.
He wants to say they stopped the stream and they stole it. He wants to say they redirected it, but that's not how it works. If it's going in real time, they could screen capture it for certain. They could hijack they could get a signal the same way loads of sports I watch online on not legal channels, basically on websites that they're streaming MLB, NHL, possibly basketball, NBA and stuff, and like perfect HD quality, not 4K necessarily, but you don't need that if you're watching on a tablet or if you're on a phone or whatever, and it does the job in a pinch. And it's not being stolen out. I mean, it is being streamed. It's stealing the content essentially, but you don't stop it. That's not how it works.
Yeah, and a DDoS attack is when either one of two things usually. One is that it's so popular, so many people are trying to watch it.
Yes.
That in this case, the video would shut down. Or it's a targeted attack where you just set a bunch of bots to flood something.
Yes.
Or it could even, you could say it's DDoS when it's not, and because it's some other technical snafu, which that third option is what I think would happen here.
Yeah. Well, imagine like a Taylor Swift concert tickets go on sale and Ticketmaster gets overloaded. The site gets shut down because of the demand. I mean, that could possibly happen. This thing was, I think, $20 maybe to watch it at the time, something like that. And a lot of people accused him of taking the money and running, and there was no documentary for the longest time. They thought this is bullshit. He's got nothing, and he's showing us what little he has. But again, not a good look.
They copied the script, and then they created a subsidiary website that was like a copycat website that went up literally live the moment our stream came down, and they started selling tickets for $30 versus us who were charging $20 for the ticket. So they're taking the same movie, same stream, same script, so it looks like the same website. They even pushed it up in the Google search. So mine was mytruthdoc.com, theirs was mytruthdocs.com. They put up a fake website the same exact time that our premiere is happening.
When they shut down yours, did they direct all of your traffic to their page?
Correct.
So they would have had to have been able to edit your page as well, but I guess they hacked it. So
they hacked it. They stole the stream, they copied the script, and they were able to build another prototype of a website that looked exactly like ours that went live the moment that ours went down.
So by the virtue...
And then somehow the media just never talked about it.
Because it didn't happen, dickhead. Unsubstantiated claims, number one. Number two, no one really cared about it. That was the thing. It was a select few people. I was one of them that thought, okay, if he's really going to crowdfund this, maybe he'll come up with something in the back of my mind. But again, it was always tempered with, but it's Corey Feldman.
Yeah, and not to get too technical, but like we were saying before, you don't need to download a phone to make this happen. You don't need to download the file, excuse me, to make this happen.
Right.
I can open up a program like OBS or Adobe Streamer or whatever it is and stream anything on my computer live right now.
Yeah.
And it can do it. And I don't have to download anything. As long as I have the bandwidth, I can. Now, whether it's legal or not is a separate question.
Mm-hmm.
And that he didn't think to buy the rights for variants on, whatever Corey'sTruthMovement.com or whatever it was before it went live is on him. I mean, there's a very famous story with Arnold Schwarzenegger when he launched his website in the 90s when, almost no one was on the internet. The website was Schwarzenegger.com.
Yeah.
And not only did he pay for Schwarzenegger.com, he paid for the top 50 most common misspellings.
Yes.
So I'll redirect to it, which is what you should do.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Artie was trying to get artielang.com and someone had already owned it. So the person didn't want to, they just wouldn't give it up or something. So he had to settle with artie-lang.com, which is, again, not ideal, but whatever. You don't always get what you want. And I remember during that time, there was loads of websites being purchased, like website domain names.
McDonald's.com was one early on, some random
that
Joe
was something
God.
else. God, it was like the Wild West.
Because the next day was COVID, so nobody wanted to talk about it, and so I've never been on any talk shows. The news won't have me on. That's why I say media blackout, because all the mainstream media has prevented me from coming forth and talking about this story.
Given that these hackers actually monetized it, they took money, isn't it possible to follow that money trail and get to these people who committed the copyright?
Yeah, you'd need a lot of expensive lawyers and a lot of investigators.
Were you able to get any sense of how many buys they did?
Well, I have no idea how many tickets they sold for their, fake, but I know that it was up for 3 months before we even knew about it. I found it by accident. Actually, my director, the guy who directed the film, Brian Herzlinger, texts me one day and he goes, "Hey, do you know about this? You just did a post for our movie that goes to a different website." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah." And it was like an accidental thing. Like I put my truths instead of my truth by accident, and you click on it and it's an actual website, but it's not our website. And he's like, "Yeah, dude, that's an entirely different website. That's not our website." I was like, "Holy shit."
And it was
what a bunch of fucking amateurs. I mean, this is what happens when you get people that don't know what the fuck they're doing and don't have the common sense God gave a mountain goat in order to do this and take care of every eventuality. I mean, this is when you don't have smart people behind you.
Yeah, and this is something where maybe it wouldn't have been better to, I mean, that they never offered the documentary for sale at all afterwards makes me think maybe there's some legal reason why not. And maybe it's the Charlie Sheen thing, which was the big bombshell from that, and that's the only reason why that got any press. Because earlier you played the interview about his choreography thing, and in that book he doesn't name names, even though he said something like, "Oh, I'm going to," before it came out, and then it didn't. And with this one, he did, and I would hope when he made the documentary, he had a team of lawyers and before it all came out. And maybe that's why he made it in a way, difficult on purpose for people to watch it.
Well, that's entirely possible. I mean, the truth. He would at the very least. You could have made a. You could have sold. You're right. You could have sold it online, or rather than do the live streaming premiere, or whatever, just have it available. I mean, loads of comedians sell, road shows. They sell now. Kiss is at the point where when they were last few years when they were touring, they would sell instant bootlegs. They would record the show, soundboard recording, and then have a place somewhere set up where they would burn the CDs or whatever, and sell people these bootleg-looking, albums of the show they just attended. I think it's a fascinating idea. It's a good idea for swag, but it's a lot. It's quite involved in that sense. Also, I wonder if Gene and Paul, knowing how bad some of those shows might have been without backing tapes, do the people know that they're buying canned, bullshit, backing vocals and stuff. I don't think they did. Either way, with Corey's My Truth, it's still to this day, I believe, unavailable, correct?
Correct. Yeah, they only officially streamed it the one time. There were bootlegs of it on YouTube and on streaming on the other website thing, like he said, but that's on him and his producers and his security people. And that when he started, the story said, well, I found the wrong website. Well, actually, my manager did, and he told me about it. Says
there we go.
A lot too. So, okay.
So m4uhd.onl, that's the website I used to use for watching all kinds of movies. They've got it listed. So I'll just go into the third link. Usually the third link is the one specifically that works the best.
This is not a high production value documentary. Like,
no,
it looks
it's not
cheap.
Yeah. Okay, nothing's coming up yet. Let's go to the middle one. That's the only problem with some of these websites. You've got to go. Put-Locker's one of them. 1, 2, 3, 4 movies or whatever. There's different websites that have this. But here we go. Come on.
Hi, I'm Brian Herzlinger, and I'm a film director. I've worked on a number of different sets with a number of different crew members and cast members, and never, in my experience, as far as I know, has there ever been a child in danger. That's my truth. Now, I have a good friend, Corey Feldman, who has quite a different truth, as do a lot of the voices in this documentary that you will hear for the first time. When Corey came to me and said he wanted to make a documentary about...
Now, of course, the only problem with guys, and you're gonna hear the audio, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to show you the video anyway. I may just cut it out so you didn't hear anything. But basically, I uploaded a copy to my YouTube channel, my personal YouTube channel, just to keep it and get it off my hard drive and just have a copy somewhere there anytime I wanted to watch it or download it and send it to someone. There was a copyright strike on it for certain. That they did that much. I know that. But if it was a Charlie Sheen lawsuit thing, again, it wasn't a lawsuit. It would have been something like an injunction. Take that out. Get rid of it. We don't want it available
Cease and desist.
Yeah.
Don't make it available. I mean, that opening shot was, I think it's the director, I'm not quite sure, but talking against a out of focus photo of LA on the blue screen.
Yeah.
And as he's walking, it made me think of the old Phil Hartman bit on The Simpsons where he's like, hello, I'm Troy McClure. You might have seen me in such things as Two Nuns from Nantucket.
Yeah.
And Corey Feldman, I love the guy. I mean, it's just the cheesiest way to undermine whatever serious point you're trying to make in your documentary.
Oh, yeah.
And they were selling the tickets.
So that was multiple different websites.
Okay, so there was that one. That was the main thing, how they were pulling the money out. But the way they liquidated the movie and made it worthless was by putting it out for free all over YouTube. So they put out about 200 free links on YouTube. The first one got 250,000 views before YouTube would take it down. And we were sending them letters for weeks and they wouldn't listen because we didn't have the exact right trademark information or the exact copyright information or whatever. And they wanted everything by the book before they would even listen to us that this is our film. Even though I paid for it, even though it's my name on it, I produced it, it's my lawyer hitting you up. But if you don't have the exact paperwork, they're not going to listen.
That makes me glad that we got in business with that anti-piracy company before putting out Gnarly.
Yeah.
We spent like $6,000 to get this anti-piracy company to stamp whatever red shift anywhere my shit shows up.
Yeah.
It's gonna be flag
trademark type thing.
Yeah. That's gonna prevent it from showing up on YouTube.
I was so naive, man. I had no idea. I thought hey, I found a foolproof way because look, I put out a book. They edited my story. I put out a film on the Lifetime Network that was a pretty good film that I helped produce. They edited and changed the story.
That's the two Coreys docudrama.
Right.
Yeah, the reenactment and stuff. How bad was how were the characterizations in that?
Not great. I mean, they tried to make Corey look like the voice of reason.
Yes.
Convincing Corey Haim not to do this or do that.
Mm-hmm.
And also the acting was really cheesy. I don't think the actors looked very much like either of them, which is always a struggle when you do those
Big
those
time.
biopics.
Yeah.
And with the Corey Feldman, I mean, the example that Steve-O gives, like $6,000 for this kind of internet, it's not even copyright, but it's like the legal protection stuff. That's really cheap. Like that's nothing. And Corey mentioned, doing that Two Coreys TV movie or doing the book. When you're going through a publisher or a television network in that case, you have a lot of people crossing the T's and dotting your I's for you. If you're doing a super, independent production, you still need all that protection. You need to fork out yourself all that protection because you cannot take anything for granted. You have to assume, especially with everything being digital, that it will be stolen. Even if Corey came out with his documentary on DVD or Blu-ray only, and you had to buy it through PayPal, that stuff would have been pirated online. Like it's not a matter of if, it's when. You have to have a defensive posture, and that stuff isn't cheap, and it's an ongoing cost.
Yes. It's something you may be paying for quite a while, like as long as you want to continue making it available. You sent me a couple of videos that I didn't know existed, actually. The clips from the show, the Two Coreys. And one of them was, you said, a good example of Corey getting in his own way, the Feldman, of course.
Yes.
And because I looked online, I don't think you can get the show streamed anywhere that I know of.
No.
So 1 sec, let me get that. And I'll have to soup this up later. But
okay, so this particular clip, it's from the show Wife Swap, and you had Corey Feldman, and then you had Tommy Davidson, who was on In Living Color.
Yep. So this is Sons of Gary, Corey Feldman wife swap. Okay.
Doing that on a daily basis. My girls work out every day because they need to be tight and look good for anything at any time. 30 days, you could basically be where Caitlyn is now. Of course, her boobs, she'd have to buy them to be as big as yours, but hey, that I can't change.
Oh, that's where it gets real creepy right there. He's a creep. That's just like so he goes, I mean, next thing I know, my balls are going to be in your mouth in the pool house. But anyways, he does the fucking twin mirror image laugh off where he goes, man, what am I talking about?
He goes, look, and all I'm saying is, we all have a money bet that says you have a really hairy pussy. I say that you have a bald pussy. I don't even know. You want to show it?
Yeah, okay, so this is a show where they're obviously commenting on this footage, but the point remains, does he think he's not going to look creepy talking about this stuff?
Yeah.
It's one thing if he's like a 19-year-old or someone in their early 20s, but you have the thing where Tommy Davidson's wife comes over and you basically say you're too fat, you need to go on a fruit-only diet, which isn't good for you.
Oh yeah,
and you need to be in lingerie or bikini all the time.
Right. I mean, okay, the other thing is when you say Corey's Angels, well, isn't that what Charlie Sheen called his on his little coterie?
Oh yeah, no,
he called them goddesses. His goddesses,
or goddesses, but still very similar.
I mean, we're quibbling about names now. Now, this is another clip that was from the show, the
reality show,
show that him and Corey Haim were on, and it's just one thing. I think this is the one where Haim kind of pushes him, threatens him, and pushes him, and Feldman's just a wet noodle. Like there's nothing he can do about it. If Corey Haim did want to take him apart, I have no doubt that he would be able to. Would have been, rather.
What?
It's going to take a lot of development. And I'm a little bit concerned about whether this is the right move right now. Because first of all, it means I don't think Corey's going to be able to leave. I think he's going to have to stay here. I'm just telling you.
He can't stay here.
Even if he doesn't stay in the house, even if he stays at a hotel and
Even if he's at a hotel somewhere in town, he'll be here. He can't stay here.
Hi. Can I interject for a minute? I'm sorry, I don't mean to be eavesdropping. That's wrong.
What's wrong?
No, I'm just
I
saying.
stayed for that meeting for this?
I'm
What
saying.
you're saying is that she
Whatever, dude. I'm calling a cab.
I'm
and
saying he stay here.
Come on. I know,
That's
Susan,
all.
I heard that very clearly. And you know what? I don't need to be here. I could leave.
You guys.
No, this is your
guys.
problem, not you guys.
You guys.
This is your problem, but I mean, your wife, man, like being in the middle.
Dude, we just had a good meeting.
Right.
Everything's fine.
Dude,
What's the
great
problem?
guy, great meeting. I don't give a about that. I give a about this. Family, you understand that?
He's telling me about what's going on, and that you
I
may
heard
need to be
that.
around for a long time, and I'm going, no.
He can't
and
stay.
You,
What am I, like a germ?
I don't need your attitude.
Okay, so
I
you're
don't.
his wife. You could talk to me. I don't think so.
I don't need your attitude.
Susie,
Dude, you guys gotta calm down.
Your wife on a leash, man. She's pissing me off now.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's
wife.
my wife.
Yeah, so what, you back her up all the time?
Yes, I back her up all the time.
We're a team.
Okay.
You don't have a team, so you don't understand.
Why are you such a bitch?
Hey, watch
Hey,
it, dude.
kid, look.
What the
Do not say something, Corey.
You don't call my wife a
Look, you want to step? You want to step? I will knock you out, kid.
Hey,
you don't want to do this with me.
Stop it.
Do you understand that?
It's not worth it.
You don't want to do this. You don't want to do it. I will kill you.
will mess you up.
Stop.
Susan,
Stop.
get out of the middle.
Want to go outside?
It's not worth it.
I don't know what the is going on with you and Susie, but I'm done with it. Do you understand me? And that's it. It's over, okay? You need to go. I need my time, and she definitely needs her time, but I'm not ending it like this.
Okay, look. I'm gone.
Okay. So Feldman, just a complete snake, talking about him, whatever. I mean, it's set up, guys. We know what the gig is with these reality shows. There's a good chunk of that. That's, here's where we argue. Here's where you're going to be set up here, and the camera's there. But even in that exchange, you still empathize with a drug addict, Corey Haim.
Yeah, and Corey Haim is, I think, of course they shoot they do multiple takes of these things and get the lighting right, or maybe the sound goes bad or whatever. These reality shows, you could call them more like game shows in a lot of ways. But point being with this, Corey Feldman and Corey Haim were practically brothers with how many movies and stuff they did together and as kids and through all the stuff they went through. And that the wife wants to jump in and make it all about her. It's I don't know, it reminds me also a bit like the situation with Alec Baldwin and Hilaria Baldwin a little bit.
Yep. And he's just had a bit of a problem crashing a truck from in the Hamptons, his Range or his wife's Range Rover, whatever the fuck, claimed that he was avoiding a big fat garbage truck, and then he ran into a big fat tree or something like that. Everything seems to be like this displaced anger. Like, and also, why? How is a tree fat? I don't understand. And there's a dash cam footage of the truck with the, you can see how it goes. It's almost like it looked as though the garbage truck was moving into the right lane, and he had to swerve to go off the road to avoid being hit by it. But you don't really know unless we can get a hold of his dash cam footage to see exactly what's going on. But he sounded and looked just awful. And I think there was some, I think in some way he had this not residual, what do you call this, existential joy that it was his car's vehicle that he smashed into.
Right, and that's also how fast was he going in a residential neighborhood with this truck there. The speed at which you hit it and the damage to the vehicle. It's I mean, it had the Baldwin's reality show not been canceled after one season, that absolutely would have been an episode about Alec and Baldwin crashing into a tree.
Oh, I have to delve into it this weekend. Anyway, guys, I think we're going to leave that as it is. There's not much more to this particular video. It's 10 minutes more of the Steve-O clip, and it's a decent interview for what it is. But again, every time you see Feldman in these interviews, he stumbles over himself. He lies about events. He makes himself seem more important than he actually is. That things I have to be fucked with. I can't be allowed to succeed. There's powers at hand keeping me down, and this narcissist victim mentality. And that wife on that reality show was no longer his wife by 2025 anyway. So he's not exactly a stable, calming influence himself.
No, and you look, we talked about his music more than enough on these shows, but you look at what his music is about, a lot of it is him complaining about relationships or women
Right.
and how he's not at fault.
Right. I think it's brutal. I think there's something. I don't know how Feldman's going to end, but I know it won't end well. And I read about this I should say, aged ex starlet who was found in her house weeks after she had died. The bills had piled up, and she had decomposed. Obviously, the cats were, she had cats in there, is all I'll say. And if she wasn't there to feed the cats, they kind of, recycled the body, shall we say? And it was a horrible story, but it makes you realize, that person was completely alone. They had no contact with anybody because somebody would have called to not get an answer, called the cops, would have got there earlier. Someone who regularly visits, she's piling up, mail's piling up, literally in the middle of wherever it was in L.A. In California, she just was completely anonymous, essentially became anonymous. And the Gene Hackman one is just as sad, except he was a much more popular, famous figure. But the fact that he had to be when I heard the story about the wife had died and he was there left to fend for himself, and there was no people checking in on him, or if they did, they didn't. I don't know. It's a horrible, depressing way to see someone go.
It is, but I'll give Gene Hackman credit for this, and Sean Connery did this too, in that they got to have a proper retirement.
Yes.
They had a good stretch of 15, 20 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Where they didn't want to be in the business anymore. They'd seen enough, and
yeah, they'd done enough.
And that was it. I mean, Gene Hackman's last was Welcome to Mooseport.
Yeah.
And other than an appearance on the Guy Fieri diners, drives in and dives, he didn't do a whole lot. Sean Connery, the film that drove him out of the business was A League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which is a really good comic book, but the movie was just complete garbage. And I don't think you have to, nor should you, work forever. I don't think that's a good thing. But I can't see Feldman retiring. And you look on IMDb, you look at his stuff he has coming up. It's a lot of appearances in documentaries. They're doing a documentary about the cast of the Goonies, what they're up to now. That's tied into there's the Goonie House in Astoria, Oregon, which I visited, where they're trying to make it into a historical thing. And that's all tied up with that. There's some Tales from the Crypt knockoff movie that he's in, but otherwise it's all documentaries looking at the past.
It's he's going to continue to be fodder, much like Stuttering John is to the Dabbleverse, I suppose, and just about and Howard is to us, I suppose. But where it comes to what his next thing is, or how he's going to age, what he's going to be like in 5 years, if he's still around, because I don't see that his drug use, if it's, pot maybe at the most, I think he's over that hump. He's not doing heroin anymore. He's maybe going to become more of a professional alcoholic than anything else, but he's never going to stop being a self-promoter. He's never going to be, he's never going to have shame. And he will always find some way to explain his lack of success.
I'm a bit surprised he's never done a podcast where he's a host of it. I think he could get that going I don't know if it'd be any good, but he could certainly call in favors and talk to celebrities and things, and that could be something to get attention on something that is not his music nowadays.
Well, so it goes. I mean, I thank you so much for being a part of this two-parter, and you had the request on the last one. I'm gonna probably go. I'll take for this one, and I think I'm gonna go with the Rollins Band. What have I got? And for and if you read the lyrics, guys, you'll know exactly why I chose that song. Because I have a feeling it's what goes on in Corey's mind when he's, singing in the shower. So when he's got a hairbrush in the bathroom and he's singing along to his favorite tunes. At any rate, thank you so much, man. And any plugs, any shout outs you'd like to give, or recommendations of things to watch and stuff? I watched the John Candy doc, and
we can talk about the John Candy doc for a minute. I saw that too. We were talking a bit about that online, and the AV Club had it perfect. They had a headline along the lines of, documentary of John Candy reveals nobody has anything bad to say about him.
Yeah.
Which is about right. It's reverential to a fault, but
To a
there's
fault.
interesting information there, and it just as someone who mostly grew up in the United States, we did not have a lot of access to SCTV.
No.
And I don't know if it was it had to have been different in Canada, but like there was no Shout, was it Shout Factory or
That's right.
Rhino or one of those
Shout.
labels? Was it Shout? Yeah, it did a release of SCTV on DVD, but it was only like that last season or two that was on what Showtime or HBO, one of those. Like it wasn't that much of the old stuff, and I don't know if it's music rights or if all the actors have to sign off on it or what it is. But
There's different incarnations of the show. There's the original global one, which was a half hour, and they're all available on YouTube. I've downloaded every one of them because someone was kind enough to just put. They're also on in the archive as well, if anybody wants to see them. And they may have been on Comedy Central at some point, and someone thought to preserve them, and thank God, because you're certainly not going to hear the the Schmengies, Lin Sming doing a Stairway to Heaven anymore, like in this Lutonian language, or you're not going to see certain clips anymore and certain music issues that they had. You're right, that was the biggest part, getting the publishing. But those episodes were never released. Then they released something called The Best of the Early Years, which was segments of, I think, season 2 and 3, something like that. But the first season they almost washed right over because a lot of them hated the production values and stuff. But there's loads of hideously funny stuff in that first season. I even messaged Joe Flaherty about it a long time ago. So why did the cast think so little of it, of that the first stuff? And he said probably because we drew a lot of inspiration and even directly lifted Second City pieces for ideas for the show. Like, so they just literally, if it seems like it was an onstage theater production, then it probably was. And that's what we were doing because we needed to put something together, and that's the way we felt. And it wasn't until they later on discovered, let's make it a shitty TV station, and we'll create the head of the studio and the manager, production manager, and all these things, and make it our own little universe. But he said probably the production values, or it's bad memories of not getting paid a whole lot and being so obscure and no one knows who we are and all that stuff. But he says there's loads of it that really hold up. The Candy documentary, the couple of things I didn't really like. Number one, Dan Aykroyd had no business being interviewed at length. I mean, a little of him was fine, but he was not close to John, certainly in the last 15 years of John's life.
Sure.
Yeah. That's one thing. The other thing is John had a bit of a cocaine problem for many years. And I can understand the family not wanting to highlight that, but I think it's disingenuous to just say, well, he ate and smoked himself. He had a history of heart disease in his family and did ironically the same thing his dad did to him, died before he was 5, or when he was 5, and his son was 5 years old when John passed away. It was history repeating itself.
Yep. So in the show, there's a lot of the kids talking about him, and they were pretty young when he passed, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That you talk to the SCTV people is good. That there's so much of like Dan Aykroyd and Tom Hanks and things is a bit tiring. I think it's a little bit long. And but the documentary did lead me to fire up Tubi, and for free you can see Wagons East, which was the last film that he shot. And he does not look good on that picture.
No.
But had he not done the movie, which was shot in Mexico, and he was on like horseback for some of it, at wearing this thick Wild West clothing and all that. Had he not done that, I'm not quite sure that his life would have been extended that much longer, unfortunately.
No.
I think genetics are part of it, so is eating, so is his drinking stuff was real bad. I did look up a few biographies on John Candy that go into the drug stuff a bit more. I mean, it was never to a John Belushi level, but he was certainly friends with Belushi, and
and he was but I mean, just in terms of his weak heart, that whole thing, like coke is one of the first things you're going to destroy with too much coke is heart. You're going to have massive problems. And so eating, smoking, drinking way too much, and he loved his booze, and he was a bon vivant and all that. But again, it was still a little too sanitized for my preference, and I wish they'd given the whole story and been even more honest than they were. That being said, I still think it was worth watching, and ultimately it could have even gone longer when discussing certain things. They also whitewashed the fact, well, not so much. They addressed the fact that he was in a lot of bombs and a lot of turkeys, but they don't go into the fact that it was a situation where he needed to continue making money. He was getting paid a lot of money to do these things, and it was about keeping businesses afloat, keeping his family fine, and understanding that if you're not working, then you're out of the business before long.
Yeah, and the Macaulay Culkin material I thought was pretty strong, and that makes me wonder if we're going to get a Macaulay Culkin documentary at some point, because
could be, because he's not
there's
looking
a lot
too healthy either.
No, and there's a lot that went on with him in his life, both as an adult and as a kid actor, and with his family. That's
Big time.
pretty well documented. So
yeah. Anyway, take care, guys. We hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you on the next one.
Shit, I'm nervous. Please don't hang up on me. She gets a fat condition for the next 2 years. What do you do?
I leave her. Yeah, I'm out.
No, this is what I was saying. No, don't hang up on my ass. She does the marathon, she go to the doctor and he say you gotta get fat for 2 years. Say you like that's some kind of condition where she gotta get fat. What does you do?
Yeah.
What does you do?
What does you do?